Kelly Price here, Master Trainer with Revolution Running. I'm going to run through some quick self-myofascial release that you should be doing before and after your runs to help maximize your mobility, loosen up your muscles, and anything that's overactive or over tight to really get a good range of motion and prevent injury during your runs. We're going to start with the activator. I've taken off my shoes because it's really important to care for your feet and stretch out. A lot of times runners will develop plantar fasciitis from over tight muscles and tendons in their heel and their arch of their foot. So you can use your activator to go ahead and loosen up, twisting gently. I'm going to get a little bit closer. So I'm rotating. I'm actually going to take off the socks so you can really see what I'm doing on the foot. Applying pressure, twist, and release. Being careful on this big metatarsal head there. We don't want to apply pressure there. Really massaging out that arch. So after we have stimulated blood in the muscle flow there and really try to loosen up those over tight muscles, we can also stand on the activator and intensify that stretch. Either side, you have to see what feels good for you. Pressing. You can even roll it a little bit, loosening up the foot. Applying pressure. A little bit of stretching in the feet goes a really long way to preventing plantar fasciitis. This is a great treatment plan if you're starting to struggle with tightness in that area and discomfort. This will help alleviate it right away. Now, while I recommend doing this before and after runs, if you are developing plantar fasciitis and you feel that tightness, I would also recommend doing it first thing in the morning when you get up to kind of stretch out the foot after sleeping, and right before you go to bed. This will also prevent cramping or pain while you're sleeping. The next thing we can do with our feet, take our rolga, kind of just rock the foot right here, getting a good stretch in the calf. I'll do it from the side so you can see it this way. The next area that you should roll, we're just going to go up the legs really quickly. Starting with our activator, getting our calves. Remember, your calves have 3 muscle heads, so there may be one side of the calf that is a little bit tighter than another. Find where it's tender, and that's where you need to focus your massage. On both legs. Then we take our roll gun and we're going to place our legs in the 2 outside areas, starting down at the ankle, rolling back into right below the knee. We don't want to roll over the back of the knee. So starting at the ankle, we're going to roll. You can kind of scoot on your bottom, or you can lift yourself off the ground. If you find that tender spot, like right there, I feel it, I'm just going to hold it and breathe through that stretch. I can also, when I'm doing the stretching, move my ankles up and down to adjust when I find that tender spot, kind of working out that tightness. I'm not going to neglect my shins. Flipping over, same thing, your leg is going to go into the outside two divots. We're going to go right below where the kneecap ends, not going over the kneecap all the way down to the ankle. We're just going to roll. Oh, that feels so good. As a runner, I find that this is a great way to prevent shin splints. It really massages out that area. We're going to move right up the leg. And we are going to use our activator. Now I have on black pants, so it might be kind of hard to see, but we're going to do the same procedure. We're going to press in, twist a quarter turn, and then release. Trying to feel out on my IT bands and my muscles where I find that sensitivity, because I'm going to focus. When I get my roll gut, I'm going to focus on those areas. IT band's a little tight. Everyone's different, so as you do these exercises in these SMR protocol, you may find that you want to focus on one area more than another. Those are the areas that are more sensitive when you're doing it. So for one person it might be the glutes, another person it might be the quads. Okay, I'm going to start at the back. Above the kneecap, I'm going to roll all the way up to where my glute connects to my hamstring. Kind of just scooting myself back and forth. Hamstrings don't feel too bad, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time. Again, if you feel an area that it's tender or sensitive, hold it on that spot for about 30 seconds. Breathe through the stretch until it feels like that muscle has released. Because remember, your facial tissue is like Velcro. Those muscle fibers get stuck together. And so as we either get a physical massage at the massage therapist, or we use our tools like the Rolga, we're going to break through and release that tension, and it's going to feel so much better. So you need to hold it on that spot to kind of release the muscle. Flipping over to my quads, lining up the legs again. I'm going to go into a low plank here, rolling up to my hip flexor. Just kind of rocking and rolling. Again, this area doesn't feel bad for me, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but you might want to spend a little bit more time depending on how you feel. IT band, very important, hard to stretch. Lots of runners have tight IT bands. We're going to put that leg in here. I kind of call it the beach pose. I like the Rolga behind me when I do this. I'm going to go down on my forearm. This leg here is crossed, it's my pusher, the other one's extended out, and I'm going to kind of move back and forth right here. I can lean forward a little bit to change the where the pressure is on the muscle, because while it was tender when I used my activator, I'm not finding, oh there it is, that tender spot. So you can adjust your positioning on the Rolga to get a different part of the muscle. This is so important before a run because it's going to impact your form if your muscles are tight and you don't have good mobility. It's going to pull on your joints when these muscles here are tight. Could cause injury later. So this is a good way to kind of get everything loosened up, and your run will feel so much better. Breathing through. This side's a little bit more tender. I found a spot here, so I'm going to hold it, breathe. The more you do this, the more you'll find it becomes easier. If this is your first time doing foam rolling with your Rolga, you're going to find that this one especially is going to be a little bit uncomfortable. But the more you do it, the less of that Velcro or those knots or overactive muscles you're going to have, because you're doing it regularly, and it's going to feel a lot better. Glutes are next. I have had some issues with I'm going to turn this way, a tight left gluteus minimus, which is not a superficial muscle. It's really deep in there. So I'm actually going to sit on my activator to release that. However, you can start by just pressing and turning. If you want a little bit more, this is like if you ever get a massage like that, when the massage therapist puts the elbow into your glute and presses to release the tension. Same thing. Oh, that feels good. So this gluteus minimus problem that I've been having is a great example of when we don't foam roll or treat a tight muscle, it can impact other areas. It was causing a lot of discomfort in my hip and my lower back. If I skip a SMR on this glute, it tightens right back up and pulls everything and causes a lot of discomfort. I'm going to lean back on that a little bit more. So address any areas with this first, and then we go to our Rolga. I'm going to sit right on it. My tailbone's right in the center divot. Maybe I'll lean back a little bit, find a spot. So those are some of the main stretches that I recommend for running. I would also recommend that you don't neglect, if you are finding that you're holding a lot of tension in your shoulders, or you're getting any kind of soreness or stiffness in the shoulders, fatigue during running, foam rolling the lats or doing the shoulders or even the biceps could be beneficial for your mobility, and will help reduce pain as well as improve your form as you're running.